welcome back to the daily vid. And there's going to be a rant. I apologise in advance. There is going to be a bit of a rant. I'll catch up with what we've been up to today first, but there is going to be a roadie rant coming up. But what have we been up to today? So today started with Mrs. May got up early and she did a long run today. She did a 19-kilometre run, and it's fair to say by the end of it, she was in a bit of a state. The weather was atrocious this morning. It was driving rain, freezing cold, and I got a phone call at about 10:15 saying that she was at Costa and could I come pick her up, which I was expecting. I was expecting a call. I said, yeah, no worries, we'll come in a minute. And then I got a phone call about 3 minutes later just saying, you really need to come. Now, if you've not seen the TikTok video of what she was like in Costa, so on her, there's a TikTok on her page and a TikTok on my page. There's a TikTok on her page when she was in Costa, and there's a TikTok on my page of what she was like when she got home. But she was shaking like a leaf. She was freezing, but she had a bath and she kind of recovered quite quickly. But they were horrific conditions to go running in. I was supposed to do a run tonight, but I've postponed mine till tomorrow because I'm not interested in going out in that kind of weather, in all honesty. That's just a fact. I'm not going out when it's like this. It's just raining, cold, miserable. I mean, I struggle as it is, let alone in those kind of conditions. Charlie went out today as well. Charlie did I think Charlie did a half marathon today in like a ridiculous pace. He's running. He's doing incredible with his running. He seems to be like a bit of a natural runner, which I kind of come out of nowhere really. But so fair play to him. He's doing brilliantly because he's training for the Prague Marathon, which is a week after the London Marathon. Anyway, so I'll be out for I've got to do a 4-mile run tomorrow, so that's my training for tomorrow. So I'll definitely get out and do that because the weather looks a bit better tomorrow night. So that was this morning. Then we went into Aylesbury. I did a bit of shopping. I picked up all the stuff to do a roast dinner. If you want to see the roast dinner, again, that's all over on the It's Daddy Made TikTok page. We sat down. We had a lovely roast dinner with all the kids. All 6 of us sat down, had a lovely meal. And then I've just watched the golf. I've just watched the AT&T from Pebble Beach. It was a great finish. What an amazing course, but horrific in wind. Good Lord. I couldn't even imagine how many golf balls I would lose on that course. Genuinely, I can't. I don't think I could hazard a guess to how many golf balls I would lose on that course. It would be ridiculous. I don't know how they play it, but I mean, there was one guy played a shot off the beach. He literally played a shot off the beach, and in fact he ballsed it up. He bounced it off a rock. He went straight back into the sea. And these are pros, and he was down there on the beach. Unbelievable. But what a beautiful course. But for anyone that says the sun always shines in California, it doesn't. It looked horrific there today. It looked a bit like it was here. So that was the day. So this weekend, so my rant is about the pub, basically. So the pub this weekend was Valentine's weekend. So a really good chance to, it's the first kind of event of the year where you get people in and you feel like you're kind of making money after the horrendous January and half of February, which is always rubbish in hospitality. And February, Valentine's in particular, is like the first time when as long as you're doing things right, you've got a full restaurant, you're fully booked, and you can kind of, make a bit of money. So we were fully booked, and we've been fully booked for quite a long time. Now, I'm not going into this blind. Some of this is our fault and our, not negligence, but bit misguided. So when we first opened the pub, we did deposits on every single day, obviously, because when we took it over, we were quite well known on social media, and I didn't want people coming and booking out all the tables and not turning up. So we put deposits on every day. Slowly, over the near 2 years we've been open, we've managed to take deposits off. We still take deposits on Sundays, and we still take deposits on Thursdays, which are our 2 busiest days. We do a steak night on Thursdays, and we do a Sunday roast on Sunday. Saturday nights and Friday nights, we don't take deposits. Now, in hindsight, we should have taken deposits for Valentine's night, but we didn't, which wouldn't normally be a problem. But we had quite a few cancellations, late cancellations, but because our menu was great and the food sounded great, then we kept on. Everyone that cancelled, people were still booking. People were still booking up until like the Friday nights, on the 13th. People were still booking. So on the Friday, when we woke up on the Saturday, which was Valentine's Day, we had a completely booked out full restaurant, no problem. There was one table of four, everyone else was a two. It's Valentine's night, it's all tables are two, but there was a four in there as well. Now, I'm not sure we made it clear on the restaurant, on the website, that we were only doing the Valentine's set menu on Saturday night, on Valentine's night. And again, that's potentially it is our falling down. When we saw a table of four, we probably should have phoned them and said, just to let you know, it's only the Valentine's set menu. But I'll also flip that round, that I think if you're booking a table on Valentine's night, then you should probably be checking, because most places do a set menu. And I know a lot of places will do set menu plus their main menu, but we're a small restaurant, pub and restaurant. So, I would think, if I was booking that, I would think I'm going to double check to see if they're doing a set menu. But again, I'm not blaming the customer on that front, because I feel like we should have checked. We should have been proactive and checked. And again, that's a lesson learned for next year, along with everything. These are all great lessons as we get better year on year on year. So again, I know a lot of the things I'm about to talk about, or have talked about, are potentially, and are, not potentially, are on us, and things that we can strive to do better next year. However, and this will come down obviously to not taking deposits. However, on the night we had, I'm going to say six. I think that might be too high, but I'm definitely going to say four tables just didn't show up. Like, didn't show up. So they had a booking and they just didn't turn up. So, and when we phoned them, they just said, "Oh, no, sorry, we're not coming." Now, I will just ask anyone, if you book a table for a small independent restaurant or pub, if you aren't going to turn up, please, please cancel your reservation. It takes seconds to do, but for that establishment, it means so much being able to repurpose that table to someone else. Sitting there with a booking with no intention of coming is so damaging for small businesses in the hospitality at the moment, when everything is so tight. And it's so frustrating and annoying. I mean, we managed to fill most of them by either walk-ins or late bookings, but and we will never do it again. Next year, deposits will go back on 100%. But yeah, so all I'll say is, it's not really a rant, it's just a plea really to people. If you're booking, and not even at small independents, any restaurant, whether they be big chains, because everyone's struggling at the moment. If you have no intention of fulfilling that booking, just cancel it, because it makes a massive difference to that establishment's bottom line of what they can get through the door that day, and how they're prepared, and how they staff it, and how they. I don't know, it's really annoying. I mean, I think in January we had a table of 10 do this to us. We booked a table of 10. I'm not sure why we didn't take a deposit for that, because we would always normally take a deposit for a table of 10. But they didn't turn up. And again, we phoned them and they were like, "Oh, no, sorry, no, we're not coming." But that we'd actually put on an extra member of staff that night to deal with it. And we had a pot washing especially, which we wouldn't normally have on a Monday night. So again, it's just like really difficult to it's just annoying. Anyway, there you go. I started with a positive talk about the day, ended with it wasn't really a rant, was it? It was a plea really for people just to like be a little bit more I can't think of the word. A little bit more polite when it comes to and sensitive to businesses, and make sure if you've booked a table, fulfill the booking. If you're not going to be there, just let them know. They won't mind. They just want to know if you're not coming, because then they can rebook the table. But there you go. That's it for tonight. Thanks very much for watching. Monday, half term tomorrow, so no alarm set. It'll be a bit of a lie-in, hopefully. So slow start, I would have thought. But after that, it's all systems go next week. New menu coming in the next 2 weeks. Lots of stuff to organise, lots of designs to do, plus potential second establishment conversations to be had. But that needs to, in fact, that needs to happen next week. But I will hopefully be in a position to talk about more about that at the back end of next week. But that is very exciting. So as always, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for commenting, and I will see you all tomorrow.